My boss told me to beg on the streets if I need more money, so I took thousands from him instead. I used to work for a call center, and despite me working my butt off for them for over 5 years, I was never shown any appreciation. I worked a dozen hours of overtime each week, sometimes even for free, and yet every time I tried to bring up a pay raise, I was told, it will come in due time. I was stuck on minimum wage, and as inflation kept rising, I had so little money I started losing weight because I couldn't afford food. I still remember the day my boss wrapped his fingers around my wrist and made fun of me for getting skinnier. I told him this was happening because they didn't pay me enough money to eat, and he responded by saying, I would tell you to go to food pantries, but you're at work while they're open. I guess you'll just have to resort to panhandling. He chuckled and walked away from me when he said that, and as he did, his round gut knocked a glass over and spilled water on his pants. He turned to me immediately and demanded I clean it for him, and as I got some napkins and started wiping his pants, I knew I needed my life to change. That night I started looking for better jobs on the sly. I landed one I really liked in a different state within 2 months, and I was given 1 month to start, and so I decided to use that month to milk my current company for every dime I could. My first week, I began a strict regimen of call avoidance. I would come in, take one call, go on break, stay in the lunchroom longer than I should, come back, take one call, go on break, etc. For a full week, I took max 2 calls a day. I used to take anywhere between 40 and 70, but no one said a thing. The second week, I took literally 0 calls. I sat at my desk watching YouTube and playing solitaire all day, but somehow my boss still did not come to me. And so on the third week, I really stepped my game up. We were responsible for our own timesheets as represented on our employee website, and I took full advantage of this. I'd come in at the start of my first break, take my break, watch Netflix, go on lunch, watch more Netflix after lunch, go on break again, and leave during that break. However, on my timesheet, I put my normal start and end times in order to get paid for a full workday. It worked splendid for a few days, but then on Friday of week 3, they finally came for me. They laid down a document in front of me to sign, stating I would relinquish the pay I did not earn. Of course, I refused to sign. They threatened me with everything they could, firings, bad references, lawyers, but I still refused to budge. After grilling me for over an hour, my boss reached his breaking point after I grabbed the pen and started lowering it to the paper, but then changed my mind last second before signing. My boss became absolutely irate, crumpling the document and tossing it against the wall. He then yelled, "You're fired," at me as if he was Mr. McMahon. As I was leaving the office, he called me a good-for-nothing anorexic F and told me to enjoy homelessness. The thing was, if you're fired, you have to have an exit interview, but I didn't get an exit interview, and so my boss had to call me back in to exit interview me properly. I could hear how much he hated this in his voice. I came in for the interview, and because I never signed that document, the company was now forced to pay me for the time I had clocked in. My boss was so angry he practically had steam coming out of his ears, and I took great joy in getting him to confirm that I'd be getting paid for the 3 full weeks of work. I got paid for those 3 weeks that day, even though the total time I spent working was perhaps 1 hour, and the best part about it all, because I did this under my boss's watch, all that money was taken out of his end-of-year bonus. Also, just in case someone feels like this company didn't deserve that level of scamming, I'm happy to report, the company was Comcast.